I did a little bit of cleaning up behind the scenes between the last video and this one, just to kind of make preparation. And so I've got some tabs down here that I have renamed some of them. You're going to get a copy of this spreadsheet just so you can go in and, play with it, check out the formulas themselves. So this is our inventory sheet. And then this sheet just has samples of, these different functions that we used. You watched me do all of that. Pretty straightforward. This one, again, same kind of thing, just samples of what I did. So you'll get all of this. But I created a new one here for loan. And this is one that's actually, everything is already in place here, but we're going to recreate it in this area over here. And the reason that I like to do this is because I kind of feel that if I show you the end result, that maybe allows you to jog your mind a little bit and cause you to think about possible solutions. You see the end result, and you can start thinking about how would I do that? And that kind of helps you put things together. Things that you've already learned, helps you put all that stuff together. But basically what we've got here is our loan amount. This is being pulled from our inventory sheet right over here. This is the total cost that it would take to buy all of this stuff. And the reason that we're pulling that is because that means I can go in here and I can play with these numbers. If my cost goes down on something, if I find out, I go to place the order and I find out that the acoustic guitar Martin D12 is not actually $9, it's $900, that updates everything. And when I go back to my loan value here, then it just shows me I've got all the new numbers there. Okay. And then I punch in my interest rate, the number of payments that I want to pay off this loan. It's going to tell me my monthly payment and the total amount that I'm going to be paying back. All right. And then we've got the total sales. If I sold all of that stuff, hopefully I'm going to sell it, pretty quick. But if I sold all of that stuff, then this is the amount of money I'm going to get. And my payback is, again, this is the total repay with the original loan, the principal, and the interest. And then this right here is how much profit or loss I'm going to incur. And I hope that this is not my only business endeavor. And I definitely need to do some work here because clearing $946, it's not hardly worth it, right? I mean, there could be some loan fees or something I'm going to pay in there that are going to take care of that. So let's build this, though, and what we can do with this is work on budgeting. So if, maybe I've got to do something with my interest rate, maybe I got to work a deal with the banker, but what Excel allows us to do is play with these numbers and see where it's going to be comfortable for us. So let's recreate this. I'm going to real quick just loan amount, and I tell you what, I'm not going to type all that stuff again. Let's just go over here and grab it, Control C and Control V and paste it there. Need to write justify that one. And this one again, this is the loan amount. How much money do we need? Equals, go back to our inventory sheet, grab a hold of that there and hit enter, and boom, there is the amount of money that we need for this loan. Now we've got the interest rate. When you're going to do an interest rate, it's best to select percentage first before you format it as a percentage before you even type there. And then let's do a 7, because if you don't, then it does something goofy. I'll show you. If we do 7 and then select that and then hit percentage, then it does 700%. You can go in and fix it again, but why bother? Do it right the first time, right? Number of payments, and we're going to assume that we're doing monthly payments here, and I'm going to do 12. And then what is our monthly payment going to be? This will utilize a pretty simple function, the payment function. And what it does is it takes a group of factors and it calculates the monthly payment for you. So PMT is the abbreviation for that. Opening parenthesis, what is our rate? I'm going to just click right there to grab that. It knows that that's a percentage, so everything's okay with that. And then the number of payments. That is going to be, of course, this right here. And another comma. What is a principal? That is this right here, the loan amount. And the other parameters are optional, and it turns out we don't need them. So we're going to close that, And there we go. That is our monthly payment, 12 monthly payments of $7,474.27 will pay back this loan with 7% interest rate. So our total repay, this is really simple, right? Equals the number of payments times the payment, right? And simple as that. That's the money that we are losing. Now, notice that this is in a negative number. Whenever you use the PMT, the payment function, the result is going to be negative like this, red and in parenthesis. And since we're doing math with that, Excel lets us know this is money that you're losing, buddy. So it makes it red, puts it in parentheses. Now, what about our sales? This is also going to be grabbed from, we'll do an equal sign, grab it from here, and hopefully we don't have any, put something on sale. Otherwise, we're going to lose a whole bunch of money here. We're going to have to sell everything at the retail price that we have determined to sell it at. Now, that might not be, just as an aside here, that might not be the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Their retail price for this guitar might be $1,800, but this is the retail price that we are going to sell it at. So that's the amount of money that we're supposed to make from the deal. So our loan with interest, okay, the amount, again, that we're going to pay, we're just going to bring a copy of that down here just for reference so we've got the numbers next to each other. I don't absolutely need this because it's the same number in my arithmetic here. In my formula, I could use this version. But just to kind of keep things grouped together for me, I've duplicated it. But what this is going to be is basically our sales plus our payment, the payment back. And you thought it was going to be minus, right? But it's not, because this is already displayed as a negative number. Let's hit enter. There we go. That is the amount of profit that we're going to receive. And again, that's a lot of work for that. So we need to do some tweaking here. And here is the beauty of Excel. Some things we can tweak. Watch what happens when I drop the interest rate. I talked to my banker. I said, listen, George, I'm not going to be able to stay in business if you're going to give me that high of an interest rate. So he's going to go ahead and get me down to 3. Hit enter. Okay, now we're talking. Now I'm making $19K. That's a little bit more, something that I want to work with. What if I feel like that inventory could be paid back in 6 months? Because I'm going to be able to sell all that stuff in 6 months. So I change my payments to 6. Watch what happens now. I make almost another $5,000 because my monthly payment has gone up, sure, but I'm paying a lot less on the interest. So now we're able to work with things. If I'm confident that I can sell that inventory in 6 months, then, and I can get my interest rate down to 3%, then I'm golden. I'm going to be doing fine. I'll do this like 5 or 6 times in the year, get 5 or 6 of these loans, and, as long as I can liquidate the product, I'm good to go. Well, what about, let's go back here to inventory, and this is probably going to be a bear, but what if I wanted to, pump this up a little bit to like 200%? Well, I could go in here, of course, and retype all of this, go in there and fix the 150 and change it to 200. But what would be better is if I could just, double check the formula, make sure that 150% is not going to coincidentally appear where it shouldn't in this formula, and I don't think it is. And I'll just select all of that. Let's go to Find and Select, go to Replace, and I'm going to look for 150%, and I'm going to replace it with 200%. I'm getting a little bit greedy, but 200% isn't unreasonable. And I replace, boom, it's done. Did it 24 times, which should be just 12 times 2. And so now my cost is the same, but what I'm going to sell it for is quite a bit different. And now if I go over to loan, oh yeah, I'm doing good now. I'll just get this loan, 2 or 3 times this year, and I should be doing pretty good. Granted, this does not take into account things like expenses, advertising, utilities, maybe lease, all that kind of stuff. But it tells me if that investment is in and of itself going to be worthwhile. Granted, I'm not a business consultant, so I'm not telling you to get into the music industry here. Okay, but take this knowledge and apply it to what you could do with Excel. And I think we're going to go ahead and leave the functions and formulas for right now, at least. We've gotten into it at a pretty good depth. And if you have any confusion with that, just go back, watch the videos. That's the beauty of this. These videos are yours to review as many times as you want. Just keep watching them, and you will, if you're having some difficulty, just watch the video again. It'll click. If it doesn't, shoot me an email. I'll even give you my email address right now, kwalker@walkerstudiopro.com. And if you have any difficulty with functions, formulas, anything like that, you just send me an email. As one of my customers, you get immediate access to me, okay? So if you have any problems, you just email me and I'll help you out. In the next series of videos, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a shift here. And I think we're just about ready to take a look at some macros.